What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, it's Myles. Today, let's talk about 3 money mistakes that I made personally in my 20s. It's my hope at this channel that I can hopefully educate, inspire, who knows, maybe even entertain you guys. And today I want to give you real life examples about some mistakes that I made financially while I was in my 20s. One of the biggest advantages that you have coming up in trying to get your money right is that the earlier you start, the better. So meaning if I started investing and learning about money in my 20s compared to my 30s or 40s, man, is that going to save you guys thousands, if not millions of dollars in the long run. So this video is super important for anybody that's looking to get financially in a better position and learn from other people's mistakes. If it wasn't for books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, YouTubers like Graham Stephan, and awesome people out there hitting that thumbs up button and that subscribe button, I wouldn't be in a position where I'm at today. It's by constantly self-educating myself, learning, growing, failing, getting back up, that I've gotten to where I'm at today. If you're new to this channel, I personally have fought in the UFC a bunch. I own over $2 million in real estate. I have enough money coming in to be financially free. And I don't say that to be bragging or anything like that. I say it because I want to hopefully inspire you out there. If you haven't checked out some of the videos on this channel, make sure you do that because you can learn a lot from it. In the end, it could possibly make you a lot of money. And let's face it, who doesn't want to make more money? So let's start off with mistake number 1. In my 20s, I bought a 1970 GTO, my dream car. The story behind this is that I've always wanted a muscle car. And at this time in my life, I was doing good. I was on a 4 or 5 fight win streak in the UFC. I already bought an investment property. And I thought I was ahead of the game financially. I thought I was set and it's time to kind of spoil myself. So I went out and I looked on Craigslist and I found a 1970 GTO. I ended up negotiating the guy down and I thought, hey, this is the way you do it. You get a bunch of money in a bag, you go there personally, and you buy the car outright. At least that's how I seen it in movies like 50 Cents, Get Rich or Die Trying. Go to the car shop, drop the bag of cash, buy it outright. I thought I was doing the right thing. And that's what I did. I ended up going there. I paid $17,000 cash. I remember going to the guy's house. His girlfriend and some of his friends were there, making sure no funny business was going on with me showing up. I had a couple of my boys as well. And I counted out the money right there in front of them. $17,000 right there in cash. I checked out the car. And I never knew anything about a muscle car at this point. It's my first time actually driving a muscle car. But I thought, hey, man, I always wanted one. So I bought it. Now, a funny story about this is the car ended up breaking down and ended up costing me a lot of money. And my whole game plan is when I bought it, is I said, you know what, instead of buying a new muscle car that's 40, 50 grand, let me buy this car for 17 and I'll learn and I'll fix it up as I go. Man, was that a mistake, because $17,000 I paid for it. After a couple of months of fixing it up, it breaking down, I was already $10,000+ into it. And at the time I was fighting, I was working, and I wasn't even really driving it very much. So I ended up storing it in a garage, and that's where it sat for another year. So when you look at it, I have all this money, possibly at this time it was close to $30,000 into this car. It's sitting in a garage. It's costing me insurance every month. And I still have to put probably another $10,000 or $15,000 into it to actually get it to where I wanted to be. After a year passed by and I wasn't really driving it much and it was just sitting there collecting dust, I thought to myself, you know what? I don't want to go another $15,000 into this car. I need to just cut my losses and move on. We can't all be winners. And that's what I did. I ended up finding somebody that works on cars and did it for a profession, and I ended up selling it to him for $20,000. So all in all, I lost over $10,000 on this car. Now granted, it was a great learning experience and I had some awesome times driving around, and I can say I drove my dream car, but at the end of the day, man, that's still thousands of dollars that I lost. Looking back now, I wish I would have just waited till I was in a little bit better of a position. I wish I would have taken that 30 grand and just dumped it into a cash flowing asset that I could use to buy that dream car. Patience, because I was still in my 20s and that money could be working hard for me instead of sitting in a car that was costing me money every month. Next up, my number 2 mistake was buying stuff in cash. Again, this is just something growing up. I thought, you know what, I don't need to learn about debt. I don't need to learn about loans. I'm going to buy everything in cash. I don't owe anybody anything. But the longer I got in the game and of investing and learning, that I noticed that you get so much better returns when you can use other people's money, OPM. This is like money from a bank. This is maybe money from a car loan for a car that may be used for Uber. It's basically using other people's money, because at the end of the day, you only have so much money. And when you can leverage, which is a beautiful word when it comes to investing, you can leverage other people's money. When done right, you can get greater returns. Instead of getting 8% or 10% on a property that I bought out cash, if I leveraged it, I can get 12, 14, 15%. And that's the name of the game, keeping your money working harder for you. So in my 20s, I bought a lot of properties out in cash. And now looking back, instead of buying that house for 50 grand, if I would have taken that 50 grand and put a down payment on multiple houses, man, fast forward now, I would have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars more. Just by not using other people's money and thinking I was doing the right thing buying stuff out in cash, I missed out on a lot of opportunities on appreciation, tax benefits, and cash flow. So learn, and when you get to a point, use leverage, use other people's money. It's one of the best parts about investing, especially in real estate. Now, side note, caution, you need to know what you're doing. I'm not saying go out there and just borrow money casually and not know what you're doing. You need to run numbers, you need to understand debt, because there's good debt and there's bad debt. So make sure you understand what good debt is. It puts money in your pocket every month. Now, my number 3 mistake for money in my 20s is lifestyle inflation. So coming up as a broke UFC fighter, I was living in the front room, and my monthly bills came out to about $1,200 when I was 22. Now, as I started fighting, I started wanting other things. I wanted maybe a newer car. I wanted to get my own apartment. I wanted nicer clothes. I wanted a new phone. I just started wanting other and nicer things. And there's nothing wrong with wanting nicer things and upgrading your life. It's just that at the time, I could have waited a little bit more and lived below my means until I was in a position to expand my means more. So meaning, instead of staying at the $1,200, instead of going up to two grand, 3 grand, I could have stayed at that $1,500 maybe and pocketed the difference every month, saved that difference, and then invested that into cash flowing assets like real estate. Plus, when you're in your 20s, it's cool to be broke. It's cool to live below your means. You're a broke college kid. That's the way I look at it. Even though if you don't go to college, you still can live like you're broke. It's when you start getting your 30s, your 40s, and hopefully not your 50s, but when you're living broke like that, that stuff starts to get a little bit weird. So take advantage of your 20s. Live below your means. Don't let lifestyle inflation creep up on you, because you're going to be thanking yourself, because all that extra money that you save every month that you can be investing in your 20s, man, is that going to pay off for you when you're 30s, 40s, 50s. Man, your retirement's going to be looking nice. So make sure you keep an eye on that lifestyle inflation. Make sure, guys, to hit that thumbs up button and that subscribe button. Helps out the channel a lot. If you're getting anything out of this video, maybe anything educational, anything inspirational, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to keep kicking out awesome content for you. Make sure that you're saving as much money as possible, because it's saving with a purpose. You're not going out there and just being cheap just to be cheap. No, you're looking to put yourself in a better financial position. You're looking to put maybe your possible family, your future family, in a better financial position. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, you want financial freedom, having enough money coming in every month to pay for all your bills. And the more you keep an eye on lifestyle inflation, keep your expenses low, the more you put off that dream car, and the more you learn and understand about debt and leverage, man, is that going to expedite and make your dreams of financial freedom come a lot faster. My hope that you guys can learn from some of these mistakes and hold off on them, or maybe not make them all in general, and be able to put yourself in a better financial position. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Until next time.